The wind came from the south and east, driving Katrina onward into a never-ending waste of sea, as it had done for days past, and probably would do for days to come. "How long has this storm lasted?" Bradan shook water from his hair, only for another wave to crash against Katrina's high prow and splatter him with a fresh supply of spindrift. Sitting in the stern, with her right hand fixed on the tiller, Melcorka shrugged. "I do not know. Does it matter? If we were not here, we would be somewhere else." "I would prefer to be somewhere else rather than in a small boat in the middle of the Western Ocean." Melcorka glanced around. "It is better to journey with hope than to arrive at disappointment," she said. "And as long as we are miserable in Katrina, we are alive." She grinned. "Would you prefer we were under the water than on top of it?" "I would rather I had my feet on solid land," Bradan said. "We have seen nothing but waves for weeks now." Melcorka smiled. "Oh, Bradan the Wanderer, it was you who wanted to venture out of Alba. It was you who wished to find the lands where grow the strange fruits that wash up on Alba's western coasts." "I know that," Bradan agreed. "And here we are, sailing to find your exotic lands." Bradan gave a rueful grin. "Indeed. I'll keep quiet now and allow you to enjoy our pleasure cruise in the endless ocean, and when we fall over the end of the earth, you will remind me that this was entirely my fault." "Of course I will," Melcorka told him. She shook her head, so the hood of her travelling cloak flicked off, and her long black hair tossed around madly in the gale. "I wonder what it would be like to fall off the end of the world." "I spoke to a very wise old druid about that very matter," Bradan said seriously. "You did?" Melcorka said. "That caused us all sorts of trouble." "There is no trouble that you cannot handle," Bradan said. "Abaris the druid told me all the wonders of the world, but alas, my mind could only retain a fraction of the information." "Minds are like that," Melcorka said. "But there is one thing I do remember," Bradan said. He lowered his voice, but she could still hear him despite the howling of the storm. "The world is not flat, it is round, so if a man—" "Or a woman," Melcorka interrupted. "Or a woman, I was about to say that. If a man or a woman keeps going in any direction, he or she will eventually end up back where they started." Melcorka laughed. "I can't see the point in that," she said. "What is the sense in going for a long journey just to arrive back at your starting place?" "For the adventure," Bradan said, "and for the experiences, the places you see, the different people you meet, the strange lands and cultures." "So why are you complaining?" Melcorka asked sweetly. She looked around. "Here we are surrounded by strange—" "Water," she laughed again. "At least we have the adventure of the voyage." "What's that?" Bradan pointed ahead. "I think we have another sort of adventure about to start." Melcorka peered into the storm, where great grey-green waves rose higher than their spiralling mast, with the tops curling, spewing silver-white spindrift, and then swooping down toward Katrina like some roaring monster from the deep. "I can only see waves." "No, wait. You're right, Bradan. There is something there." There was something behind the waves, something vast and shining, something so strange that Melcorka could not believe what she saw. "It's a mountain of glass, right in the middle of the ocean." "It's moving," Bradan said. "It's a floating island of glass." "We'll try and go round it." Melcorka struggled to push the tiller to the left, fighting the power of the wind and waves. Katrina protested against the alteration of course. With her stern no longer directly in the wind and waves, water poured in over her port quarter to rush knee-high the length of the boat. "She doesn't like this," Bradan said. "It's either this or ram into that." Melcorka nodded toward the great island of glass that was rapidly approaching them. She pushed the tiller harder, so Katrina heeled further over and shipped even more water, which swirled around their legs. "I don't know about us ramming into it," Bradan said. "I do know that it is trying to ram us.